ladies, and welcome back to my podcast. This is Ultraviolet, and this is episode 9. It's Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all the mommies out there. I hope you have the best and most spectacular Mother's Day to date, the most beautiful and most loving day. On today's podcast episode, I'm actually talking about Mother's Day and motherhood and life right now. This is actually my second Mother's Day, and I'm just lounging around. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Being a mom this Mother's Day, while my baby, he's actually 10 months this month. He turned 10 months on May 6th. I just feel so graced by motherhood. I feel so joyed by motherhood, and I feel just very prized by motherhood. Like, being a mom is something that I always knew and expected for myself. I knew that I would have babies, and especially not just one. I would have multiple children. And now that I am just living life as a mother, besides everything else in life, being a mom is just so sweet, and it's so much love, and I am just so blessed to have my baby. And I thank God so much today for motherhood. So happy Mother's Day to all moms out there. On the podcast today, I am actually just going to talk about being a mom, Mother's Day, and things of that nature. So let me tell you about Mother's Day for me last year. I was pregnant, and actually I was downtown in Chicago, and it had rained, but I wanted to do something for Mother's Day for the memories. I was by myself, and oh my God, it started raining, and I was literally drenched. Literally, as soon as I got dressed and went out, it started to pour down raining. So I ended up just continuing with my day even though it was raining because I was already outside. So I looked super cute. I had heels on, and I had on a dress that was olive green mesh. It was kind of mermaid core, but it was shorter, and my belly bump looked so cute. I will insert a picture. My hair got wavy, and I just looked so hot even though I was pregnant. But I was not happy about this, but I don't know what God was trying to tell me at that moment, or I thought in that moment, what is God trying to tell me? And I think he was just crying on me, that he was happy for me that I had brought myself to not feel down and out. Instead, I tried to get out there and have some fun. And when it does rain now, I try to remind myself that, dance in the rain, kiss in the rain, dance in the rain, live, just live. That's how I think about rain now. I love rain so much. I love thunder, but if I ever get caught in the rain, I try not to get upset about it. I try to just still stay focused and actually find joy in the rain. So it rained, and I was looking so hot, but I ended up going inside the Trump Tower, and I went into the bathroom to try to see how I looked. And when I looked in the mirror, I was like, wow, I actually look really good. It has stopped raining as bad, and then I ended up going to the restaurant that I planned to go to, but once I got there, it was actually already almost closing because that's how long it took me to gather myself. But yeah, I got to the restaurant. I ended up still taking some pictures, and then I think I just went back to my hotel from there. But yeah, that's what happened on my Mother's Day last year. So now I am a mommy, and my baby is just sleeping right here next to me. He's 10 months old, and he's just the sweetest boy. And literally, all of those memories I have of being pregnant with him in my belly and all the things I did, the memories, I literally look at him and I can just see so much of it in so much of it in him. He was definitely interactive a lot during my pregnancy, especially when I was alone. It's like he knew it, or like when he only heard my voice, or like when I rubbed my belly, like he kind of was so attentive to me trying to communicate with him. And it's just amazing to see him now. Like he came out the womb smiling and so bubbly about finally being in my arms, and that's just so amazing and such a miracle. God is just so amazing. So I love Mother's Day. This Mother's Day we have relocated to another state finally in my life. I spent my entire adult life and my entire life in general in Illinois and throughout Illinois, and I know Illinois, and I knew that it was time for me to move Illinois to explore, not explore the world, because I've been to other states. I've been to like 14, 15 states. Yeah, I have the 50, and I've been to other countries too, but I never lived in another state or country. So finally have moved Illinois, and I'm really so excited. I hope to find a permanent place to live very soon. I will find a permanent place to live very soon, and we're gonna have a life here in Texas. I'm probably gonna raise my baby here in Texas. I do have Utah in mind, but I think I'm gonna raise my baby here in Texas and like go from there. I actually had been to Texas once before when I was 18, and I went to the Galleria Mall when I was 18 when I visited here, and I saw the ice rink. So I actually went there just yesterday, and it's still good to make this new memory with my baby. We went shopping and we got super cute outfits for today. Even though we're just lounging, like I'm reading a book. What book am I reading? I actually downloaded multiple books from my library. Right now I'm reading The Queen's Game, or A Queen's Game by Catherine, but I downloaded a few other titles, which is Future Home of the Living God. I downloaded Beach Vibes, an audiobook, but I kind of stopped listening to that one. I downloaded This Is a Love Story, and a few other titles. Shopaholic and Baby. That's another title that I downloaded in both the audio version and the actual book version. So I'm gonna check those out later. But what I'm reading right now, A Queen's Game. I really like this book so far, and it's kind of hard when you're like listening to audiobooks, especially being a mom, like, you know, handling my baby and listening to an audiobook is kind of difficult. So actually that's why, like, with some of the audiobooks I downloaded, I decided to just find a book that I can read, and it is better because my baby ended up falling asleep and I've been reading this book. So it's good so far, and that's what we're doing today. I made some really good soup with kale, crab, and like a chili oil. Really good. And I'm gonna make a dinner. I had this really yummy chocolate that I love. We got dressed in our super cute outfits. We're gonna take pictures at some point. But yeah, having a good day. I've been in prayer. I am just such a aligned, spiritually motivated woman. I love Jesus so much, and Jesus is literally such a gift, seriously, to life. And the Holy Spirit is encompassing me. I just feel so good, and I'm really happy. So things are going in the right direction, and I'm very happy about that, because life had been difficult, even though, you know, I'm strong, but it's like I'm trying to lessen the load. I'm trying to like let go of strongholds, and I'm trying to see my life more self, and that's what I pray about. I am a feminine woman, a very gentle woman. I'm actually very sympathetic. I'm very compassionate. I've always been this way, and it's good for me to live a life that is totally aligned with who I am. So I'm in prayer, and I'm breaking down those strongholds and definitely making way for all things that is good. Actually, I told God today that I feel like my baby's love and the joy of being a mom. Like as he grow and I watch him grow, it's like it's just pushing out. It's making no room for anything less than love, and that's a good way to look at things. So what else did I want to talk about? Oh, I want to talk about this because now that I am in another state, I think about like situation happened in my life. I told you guys about it. I don't want to go into the entirety of it, you guys know, but like that situation, it was created over years. Obviously in Illinois, not that anything was happening to me personally, but whatever was happening, it was like years in the making, the effects and how it had been able to powerfully affect me. It was years in the making. So when I leave Illinois and I experience any bit of that in another state, that is like just devastating, and it is like something that I have to quickly figure out. I do want to say it that I am so tired and I wanted to stop when I go in public. I know that a lot of people know me. I know this, but I also know that people should treat others how they want to be treated. And even though there are some people that will probably love for people to bother them everywhere they go, you also need to respect boundaries. And there is another thing that people of certain ethnicities have been doing. They've been calling themselves, I would say that they're calling themselves trying to wish bad on me. That's what I would say in layman's terms. And they do things in passing or behind my back, and it's just not okay. If it was up to me, and what I really want is for those people to be addressed, they need to be in prison, they need to be fined, they need to be put far away from me when they do these things. But it has been difficult to obtain those sort of legal and have those laws enforced in a situation, which sometimes is upsetting, but I am still praying because God is bigger than it all, and I trust in his divine timing. I do see that sometimes there are some things that God exposed me to so that I can go and pray about it and utilize my spiritual weapons against it, and also see it clearly how I can apply his word in those situations. But I still don't want them to happen, yet I am going to pray, and when it continues to happen, I'm going to trust in God's divine timing, because I know that I've prayed, I know that I believe God, and not just that I believe God, actually I believe God so much so that I know that you're just false, you're deception, you're not the truth. I am not hated, and with his divine timing, in due time, he's going to show me and the world just that. I know that I'm a queen and that I am loved. I'm God's royal daughter, and he loved me so much. Like, it's actually unexplainable how much he loves me. So no one can tell me that I'm hated, because the most important thing in life loves me. The most important person in life loves me. So that's that. Let's see. Something I was reminded of, since my baby was born, I made a note on my iPhone, and I was like basically noting things about him, like what he do, what he need, what like things that happen. So January 28th, 2025, I noted that it sounded like Aiden said mama, and I'm so glad that I noted this, because just recently he said dada, and I'm like, say mama, and I'm like, he haven't said mama. But that's how much has been going on that I forgot that it did sound like he said mama in January. So I'm so glad that I made this note, and I do recommend it for any mommies out there, and especially expecting moms. Once it comes time that you push your baby out, literally create a note so that you can note things about your hospital experience, like significant things that happened, things that were said, things that he did, because this note has been so helpful for me. And I go back and look at it sometime, and going back to look at it today on Mother's Day really brought a lot of happiness to my heart. Like, it's so good that I created this. So I do recommend this for mommies, and that is another thing. And lastly, let's see, I do want to say that I am really glad about my relocation. So being that I moved, I want to, for everyone that's listening that know where I've relocated to, I want to say that I'm really proud of the resources that have been of good use to me. They have worked as they should, and even when there are certain flaws, we still want to focus on the fact that a resource was made to do a certain thing and it worked that way. And that's what I'm happy about. It has made a huge difference in my life, and it makes a difference in what is happening in our country in general. It's very good that a mother and a baby can, be taken care of and provided for. And I want to tell you guys that I'm proud of this state that I have relocated to, because they have made a difference in this time in history, okay? It's really important that we do acknowledge that. So y'all should give yourselves a pat on the back, because this is a positive change in the world today. And it's such a relief, such a blessing, such a good thing. Oh yeah, and I want to say it also because I mentioned that when I go in public and how about boundaries. So this is what I wanted to make clear. Like, when you're in public, I am in another state, so I literally don't know any of these people. But when you're in public, you don't, even if you're a celebrity, regardless of your status, your fame, regardless of who likes you, dislikes you, when you're in public, you should just be treated like a typical stranger human being that's going by. I am so tired of people who have probably lived and breathed Corey, that they have it in their minds that we're in a conversation or that we have something together. I don't care if I was like a huge music artist in this world, or if I was like a pediatrician at your doctor's office. Do not think for a second that we have a relationship, that we're into something together, that we are so close that you can play around with me, because we're not. And it's not okay for me to be a woman, and a mother at that have experienced the stalking and harassment that I do experience. I am so disgusted at women today, and I feel like women should really know that what is happening in this country right now with men, Lord, I do not even want to get so deep into it, but what I want to say is, if there were more stronger women, dignified women, like women who stood on their femininity and the divine essence within them, and who held it close, there would be so much less confusion and hate and, like, what are these nuisances that's going on? Like, it's just so crazy. I don't want to get so deep into it, but let's say I'm a woman, I'm a mother, right? And let's say I grow my family, I end up having 3 more children, I have a husband, we all go out to the mall. We see someone who is popular, let's say there is, right now this person is being humiliated. As a mother, I am not going to encourage my family in no way to approach this person, to be mean to this person, to try to get this person's attention. You know, none of that. As a mother, I'm not going to do that. And if anyone in my family did that, I would tell them that you're wrong. I would tell them to do the right thing. They wouldn't do that because of the woman I am. I would never be at home joking with my family about this person. I would never be at home, you know, a part of any of the hate toward this person. Because as a woman, no matter if you do it with your friend group, you know, no matter if you do it outside of your home, no matter if, even if you just find humility in it, not humility, if you find humor in it, or if you find yourself to not like the person, whatever it is, as a woman, you should never let your family see you be so low vibrational, especially when it pertains to a complete stranger. I promise you, even in times and situations where there were things going on in the media before I became so, I'm not even gonna say before I became so known, but before like I experienced hate from the public myself. Even before this, like when there was something going on in the media about someone, first of all, not only, and my family are not lame. Like, when I grew up, I didn't grow up in a household of lames. But I would never bring myself to like be degrading or gossip. Like all of this stuff that people do with their families is really sad and sick. And now we see why there are people that grow up to be cowardly. So as a mother, I am not going to be doing those things because I'm not raising cowards. I'm not raising lames. I'm not raising nobodies. I'm not raising weirdos who have no sense of self, no principles, no morals. You know, I'm not raising any person like that. So since I'm not raising someone like that, no matter what's going on in the world and what every person in the world is doing, my family, my husband, my kids, they are not going to see me act out like the rest of this world. They're going to look at me like a queen always. I don't know how people could bring themselves to be such a way. It's so disgusting. And even if I was like, you know, even if you're a low vibrational person or you just have a day where you want to be negative, I'm not going to be a part of something where people are just clowning, and I'm not going to be that clown among my family. They're not going to see me being a mother, wife, and clown. Like, no. So in all honesty, it takes a lot of strength to recognize that you've acted out of jealousy, envy, anger, or evilness. And as a woman in this country, United States, if you have been a part of something like this, whether it was, you know, against me or another woman, I do recommend that you not only repent for your actions, that you bring yourself back to normalcy, and that you show yourself to be a better human being, not just to your family, but to the world in general. So I recommend that you acknowledge the behavior honestly. Recognize what you did, your hate, your evil, the spite, acting out like a clown. Recognize what you did, take accountability so that you can truly free yourself. Then I understand that sometimes we try to say, you know, we try to like put the responsibility on someone else or say that everyone is doing it, whatever. Understand the root of your actions. The person that brought you to be negative toward me, hateful, evil, or whatever it is, you recognize that they are wrong, right? I want women to realize that womanhood and sisterhood goes hand in hand. You don't have to know me. You could be a complete stranger. You know, you can be whatever it is. You don't have to know me. But to know that someone is wrong and bring yourself to act out like a clown against a completely innocent person is not good at all. And you don't want to be living a life where you're cursing yourself. So understand the root of your actions. Ask yourself, what part of me was hurting or threatened? What threatened you? Free yourself from this BS, seriously. No one has to really apologize to me, but I do want you to pray. And I do think that you should make an effort to speak more kindly to others in life and just kind of turn down negative conversations as you free yourself from this clown activity that you've been a part of. And practice self-forgiveness. There are some people that probably felt singled out in a situation, or there's probably people that have felt, like shamed, even though everyone is doing the same thing. We are grown women. We take accountability. It is our responsibility to be seen as a woman. If you brought yourself to be seen as less than a woman, take responsibility. That is your fault. Because even if everybody in the world is doing the same thing, this is your life to live. Think about if your child saw you. If it was when years from now, and your kid is a baby, and years later, they just saw one video of you doing what you're doing, or that this happens to come up and your boss finds out about it, and they're in total disagreement with the entire situation. Hold yourself accountable, and also know that God is always watching. Think about it that way before you bring yourself to act out like a clown because the entire world is doing it. Like, do you know that in a situation, it is a little boy, that just has an image of a woman that is the opposing person against me, a boy, a germy little boy. Like, think about it that way. In your family, you can change the narrative. Choose to uplift instead of bringing yourself to be a part of the negativity. You be the high vibrational person. Okay? That's what you should do. That's what I recommend you do. And that would be the best thing to do in this situation, especially for those people that feel singled out, or those people that feel like they wanted to, be a part of this situation, but, they're like unsure. Don't do it. And that is how I feel. So that is episode 9 of Ultraviolet. I want to wish you again a happy Mother's Day. I hope that this has been your best Mother's Day yet. And please like, comment, and share my podcast. If you have any question or concern, feel free to comment below and I will respond to you. You can follow me on Instagram at hauteultraviolet. I should be posting photos of me and my baby on there maybe later today or tomorrow. And yeah, until next time, beauties.